terrible. Hi, everybody. Ooh.
You don't look terrible.
I look a little terrible.
That's your natural face.
That's my. I never wear makeup. I got natural face on today. Yay. You're listening to the Alta-cast. If you're watching this, I guess we're Instagramming live or something. I don't understand how it works. I don't understand how any of it works. I don't understand why anybody would want to watch radio. But hey, whatever floats your boat, weirdos.
We had testicle difficulties.
Testicle difficulties. Jesus Christ. These things are crazy. I watched a thing about the
internet.
Yeah, well, what is it called?
I'm a titty.
It's before Instagram Live and before Facebook Live. There was Periscope.
Oh,
I guess, yeah. And so I guess it's this deep, dark well of grossness. And
that looks like a guy.
There was a girl in Ohio who got charged with rape because she filmed her friend getting raped, having non-consensual sex.
I remember that story.
And so I just thought that was crazy. I was like, we're so detached now from ourselves and our lives. I can't understand why, if you're watching this, why you would be interested in, why you would watch this. But everything is like this watchable society now. I think Brother. Well, Big Brother is watching too, and that makes me nervous, and I don't like that, so I won't get the free Obama phone because I don't want that GPS. I don't want him to track me. But what is wrong with us that everything is so watchable and everybody wants to watch everything? And why aren't we engaging in our lives? I was hanging out with I hang out with some junior hires. I do. On Mondays, I hang out with junior hires. We do radio together. And I was asking them like questions about their lives and the whatnot. And they spend all of their time on their phone. I said, look, what's your hobby? And they were like looking at my phone, and they're like, that's my hobby too. I like looking at my phone. I'm like, no. A hobby is like drawing, basketball,
or cheerleading.
Sure, something, or
smoking weed.
Yeah, smoking weed. That's a hobby, but it's doing something. And looking at your phone is like doing nothing. That'd be like saying my hobby is watching TV. Gross.
That's the same thing.
Gross.
That's the same thing. Okay, so speaking of that, my cousin who is 17, she was born in 2002.
Oh my God, 2002.
Yeah, and I remember when she was born. So her big sister, who lives with me, my cousin, she was gonna make a salmon burger, and she went to her bedroom.
She was gonna make a salmon burger?
Yeah, a salmon burger.
Delicious.
Yeah.
I don't know why that's an important part of the story, but I believe it is.
But I'm so thorough. My bad. So basically, she's like, hey, can you watch the Skillet, blah, blah, blah. And because my little cousin was on the phone, her little sister who's 17. And she's like, yeah. And I was outside talking to our new tenants who are friends of mine, which I didn't realize that, which is cool. Hi, Vanessa. And so Marcus comes in, my boyfriend. He's like, oh my God. Basically, my cousin's on her phone. And
salmon burger's on fire.
Yes.
Fish on fire.
And she's like, oh my God, I should have figured that out. Because I saw her and I'm like, were you on the phone the whole time?
She was right in front of the pan. She was right there.
She was like maybe like 5 feet.
Right there.
In the same room.
She didn't smell it?
That's what I was like. You didn't smell this, girl? She's like, oh my gosh. I'm like,
the phone is
I'm like, you're about to set this mother on fire. No, I was on the porch talking. Marcus was coming in. Her sister's like, I went to the bathroom and I spaced out. She was stoned.
Which is, yeah,
but she was in the...
wasting a good salmon burger. How dare you?
I love salmon burgers. But she was in the same, like...
right there. Like, as far as that window
I'm like, girl, you better get off your phone because you got this... You burned some shit up.
It is scary. That's all... Like, one of the questions I asked the junior high girls, I said... actually, I had them asking questions to each other, and one of their questions was, what, if you had to choose one, which would you choose? Your iPhone or your family? And one of the girls thought about it for a long time. And then she goes, which part of my family? She's like, if it was my cousins, yeah, I take my phone. But she's like, my parents, my brother, no, I take my family. But like, if it was like my cousins, yeah, I'd get rid of them. I'd rather have the phone. And she like put actual thought and thinking time into this concept of hating, like, your phone or your family. Really? I'm never getting an iPhone specifically for that reason. This is a dumb phone. And people go, oh, BlackBerry, it's so old and cool. But it does not connect to the internet. It just does texts.
I like my iPhone. I will say that God bless it, I freak out. Where's my phone?
Well, it's a little computer.
It is. And I'm addicted to YouTube.
Yeah?
Yeah, I am.
What do you watch on YouTube?
Myself.
Oh.
No, I'm kidding. No. There's I get actually certain things, certain news programs and stuff, and I blog on there, and I put this show up on there.
Awesome.
And then I like IG. But those are the things, I'm a sucker for those two things. It's not
Why do you like Instagram? Instagram, I had to go to therapy because of Instagram. Like, I literally I was forced to get on Instagram because of the station, and it's not for me, it's for the station. And because of that, I have felt more feelings of prolonged lack of self-worth.
Okay, so
that's what I get from it. From what I try to avoid from Instagram is it really affects me to see everyone else's personified idealization of self. And it seems like everybody's doing great.
It's a lie.
And it feels like I'll never be good enough, and I can never live up. Yeah, I'll never be able to live up to the standards of.
Get in here too. I need your
my face
too. No.
I just in Instagram I had to go to therapy. I'm a really sensitive person too, and for a long time I was like seeking the approval of people that I shouldn't have been. Like, a lot of my formative first, say, 35 years of life had been trying to please people with my behavior and changing my behavior to it was putting my attentions on the wrong people. The thing is, people that
you're preaching to the choir right here.
So, but if there's people that don't want like me or want to spend time with me, then I shouldn't worry about that. I shouldn't worry. I should just move on. But oftentimes I get like, why don't they like and appreciate me? So I get and then I get hyperbolic where I'm like, nobody, everybody. And instead of it being like, well, people are individuals, and that's how but I don't know. Instagram makes me feel like a pile of dog shit. I'll never be good enough. Like, everyone else is like, there's people making money off Instagram. I'm an influencer, and I'm like, how? It gets me upset because I have all these degrees and I'm not using them.
I know, but here's the thing, that is what you're talking about is a very, very true fact. There are people that are actually seeking therapy because what they see, the perception of what they see on IG, it's actually people younger than you. So that's why it's just like, I like the fact that you mentioned that, because people don't realize that all that shit is not real. It's not real.
Feels real.
And the thing is, like, social media to me has always been kind of a joke, because I do come from that low self-esteem, and I have those moments too. But when I flip through those photos, I'm just like, I bet you they're crying in a fetal position after this photo. I always think about the darkness of, like, look at them, they're smiling, they're on top of a mountain. I bet you someone died off that mountain, like, the next day, or, like, previously.
I'm gonna jump off the fucking mountain.
People die for, and this is a true fact, people die for that IG photo, that perfect IG photo. Like, the clips.
I don't do selfies. How about this? I've never done, I guess this is a selfie right now. It's a big prolonged selfie. I don't do selfies. There aren't, I just hope that people take pictures of me, but they don't, or whatever.
Yeah, they do.
No, I mean, I force Jonathan to take pictures of me sometimes when I'm performing. I'm like, I really need you to take a picture while I'm performing so that people think that, because unless I put it on Facebook, I put it on Instagram and show that I'm performing, I'm not really performing. Am I performing enough? Have I done enough shows? Do people care? Am I getting booked? If I don't have enough pictures and tell everybody what shows I'm doing, I won't get booked on other shows because people won't think I'm funny. They won't think I'm funny enough unless I show everybody all the time how funny I am with pictures and microphones. And look what I'm doing all the time, and I'm talking to microphones and I'm good at it or whatever. And if you don't go, I'm good at it, right? Am I good at it? You like it? Okay, you passed it around, you passed it. But that's the thing is, none of my shit gets passed around. So I'm like, well, they don't like it. So then it just becomes like, why do it? Like if, I don't know. Go ahead.
I was going to say like, it's, social media is a nightmare, but fun. Someone's calling you.
Oh, I can't talk to him right now.
We can't talk to him.
Yeah.
But
he's the Seas Candy guy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
It's super cool, yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah, he's also in a band. Or sweet. He is a band. He's himself, and he plays music.
That's dope.
J.W. Blunt. What a great last name, Blunt.
Blunt.
Everybody look him up. J.W. Blunt. Yeah, he's a cool guy.
But, I mean, the thing is, okay, so we actually have to, in order to promote ourselves, because here's the real thing. We as humans, we're brands. That's just, I mean.
It's gross.
I know. Well, I'm black. I used to be chattel, so I'm used to it. Property.
Right.
And we have to brand ourselves out there to move forward. That's just the real honest to God thing that we have to do. And this is how time has changed. Really. Not everything is unfortunately, we can't just put ourselves on a business card anymore or a flyer. You have to put yourself out there. You have to whore yourself out, but for the masses, for everyone to see you whoring yourself out. And
nobody wants jokes about feminism.
Fuck you.
I do them because they're political. I did them to a room full of guys the other day, and they just didn't. Guys don't think I'm
guy.
They
because
don't like
the guys here.
jokes.
Okay, first of all, we're talking about San Francisco.
Yeah, which is turning into.
I told you, hate the city.
I'm seriously like I have so much hate for San Francisco right now.
This city
I only got $11 in tips last night. I know. We cooked for 5 hours. I got $11 in tips. People don't tip anymore. These millennials, and we talk about it all the time.
I'm a millennial.
Yeah, but they don't. I don't know why. I don't know. And even we talked about it. The bartender brought it up when we were outside, and they're like, "We don't get it. Why do we get paid?" I said, "You pay $1 for every move of the bartender. That's just what you do." And bartenders have taught people that. And so, I mean, I can't tell you how many people last night didn't. I saw them. I gave them the change, and the tip jar is right there, and they just chose not to tip. And I'm like, okay, I guess I get it but I'm serving them. Like I'm literally, I bring them the food. It's not like they have to come up and get it from me.
I'm not making excuses for motherfuckers. No, I work in this industry and we live by tips. And if I see a motherfucker give me $3 on 50, I'm gonna get you.
Yeah.
And $3 on $30. What era do you think this is?
Right.
And you come into the same place. I will remember your face. But I'm not using an excuse for these people who I am shaming them.
Look at them.
First of all, don't go out if you can't afford it.
Right, that's true.
I'm sorry. That's my old school. If you can't afford to go out and have a good time and tip and the regular norm, then your ass needs to stay home.
Yeah.
But also, too, we live in expensive-ass San Francisco, and everyone's money goes to their landlord.
Right.
And so this is where it's hurting us that, even that work in the city and that work on tips where we can't survive. And some of us don't leave it. We're blessed to live in this city.
Yeah.
But the majority of our coworkers probably do not live in the city.
One of my coworkers lives in Oakland, and so he has to get out on time because otherwise he can't get the BART. Yeah, that sucks. And taking an Uber, he's like, well, I can take an Uber pool.
But it's going to be $30-something at like 2:30 in the morning.
And when you make $11 in tips that night, It's not like you're all like, I'm going to spend $30 to go back home.
Yeah.
It's
and plus hourly, our minimum wage is 15. Take taxes away, that's $13 an hour. Yeah. Even at $13 an hour and you're paying like $3,000 in rent, or if you're splitting half of that, that's $1,500. Yeah. What?
Mine's $1,200. But it's crazy. The thing, I mean, what it all comes down to is the valuation of labor and why sometimes people that live in San Francisco that make lots and lots of money doing nothing, writing apps, writing code. I don't even know what you're doing.
But here's the thing.
Playing with the internet. You're doing things that exist in an alternate. I mean, I guess.
I'm not going to blame the whole tech. I'm not going to, because there are people.
I'm going to blame tech. I'm going to blame technology.
I'm going to blame the financial district that we have.
Stock market's ridiculous.
Yeah, we have a great financial district over here. I mean, Transamerica. Why do you think that building was built? Because it's financial district. Right. And that is where the tech economy thrives. So I'm not going to blame everyone in tech, because I used to, but there's a versatile group of people that are struggling in tech. Now there are a lot of rich assholes, a lot of them, majority. But there are tech people that are only making don't get me wrong.
There's something that once people have money, it turns them into assholes.
Oh, absolutely.
Because money gives you entitlement.
Money changes everything. That's a Cyndi Lauper song.
Yeah, money gives you entitlement because you can just buy whatever you want.
And buy people.
You can buy people. I know people with money that buy people.
I mean, people with money.
I'm a person that gets bought. I'm like, yeah, I'll do your laundry. My labor is sort of like farmed out.
But this is a different kind of this is new money in contrast to old money. Mm-hmm. And new money people are usually the ones that are the biggest dicks, don't have any class, will have their steaks well done.
Oh, gross.
And eat ketchup with them.
Oof.
That was shade. And won't tip, but expect the most out of you.
Right.
That's new money. In contrast to old money, where people hide it well, and where people don't gloat about it and boast.
I'm just tired of being poor. I'm just tired of it.
You used to be rich.
I used to be rich. I knew it at the time.
This is a social Pam experiment.
This is a social experiment. No, I knew that I was wealthy. I knew. I was always very thankful that I was super wealthy. But even then I didn't. I think I'm a more giving person now than I was then.
Did you?
No, I threw a lot of parties.
Yeah, but that's different in contrast to gloating. Like, say you're 25 years old and you are a millionaire, that's nothing. Hey, how are you? What's up, man? Hey. And so having not experienced that, being a wealthy 25-year-old is different in contrast to growing up in that kind of environment where, you're used to it.
Yeah. I mean, I did when I was young, I didn't realize that I was wealthy. But then once I did realize I was wealthy, I was always very thankful. But now that I'm fucking poor, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it that my labor isn't meaningful. That my labor isn't meaningful, and it makes me really angry from a Marxist perspective that I'm not valuable. I'm not a valuable American because I'm not rich. I don't buy things, and my education doesn't mean anything financially.
We try to tell y'all this, okay, white people. We try to tell y'all. We try to. I'm uncomfortable.
Was built on slavery,
right? And I'm gonna tell you something. I am not your average Negro either. I come from a well-to-do family. I wasn't wealthy, but my grandparents owned their own business, and they were able to have a little bit of power. And I get that part, but I also had a point in time where I had to have food stamps.
Right.
So I've been on both ends. Yeah. I've been parts of it.
I just got more too. They just upped me because I gave them my money. They reevaluate every 6 months. I have to prove that I'm poor to stay on my food stamps, and so I have to put all this stuff together. And so I put all this stuff together and gave it to them, and they were like, "Oh shit!" And then they doubled my food stamps. And I was like, how? It was the same stuff I gave you 6 months ago. Why now am I getting... I'm getting like $177 a month. It's
Yay,
amazing.
foie gras money.
It's amazing. You know, and on the foie gras tip, it isn't really that expensive. And calorie for penny for calorie, it's a really good deal. Poor people shouldn't have to eat Little Debbie snack cakes. I mean, they're great because they're cheap and there's big calories for like, it's like 3 calories per penny or something even, maybe it's even like 10 calories per penny. It's crazy how much Little Debbie snack cakes, how cheap they are and but it's not good food. It's just garbage.
It's not real.
It's just corn syrup and fucking processed
gross
carbohydrates, and it's gross. And sugar, but corn syrup, sugar, and fake. Yuck. But great calorie per penny. It's the same thing when they say, you shouldn't be able to get lobster. To our president, you shouldn't be able to have lobster on food stamps. Well, if you think about it, the live lobster up at Sun Fat is $9.99 a pound. And if you get 1.5 pounds lobster, that's like $15. Yeah. And if you can, I like to butter poach. I like to kill it, just rip it, and then I take it all apart, and then I butter poach the meat. Extreme. Well, no, because I put it in the freezer, and it isn't even it's screaming. It's a live sea bug, and when you add heat to the protein, it denatures the protein, and it starts becoming tighter, and it creates the air. What you're listening to, it's not screaming, it's the air that's created, the pocket of air between the meat and the shell. And so it makes that high-pitched noise because it's traveling through the water and it's like under pressure. Science. So but I put them in the freezer to make them all chill, like so that they're all like, hey, I am totally gonna hibernate. And so you put them in the freezer, and you put the water on to boil, and when the water's boiling, then they're very tired. And then you just put them in the pot. And then it's not like, it's really sad when they're like super sprightly and you're like trying to force them into the pot and put the lid on, and they're like fighting to get out, and you're like, ah. I hate that. I don't like that at all. Like torture. It makes me feel like a bad person. But big chef trick for everybody out there. Just put them in the freezer and let them chill.
Chill. Freeze to death.
Well, they don't freeze to death though, because you still want to have them be live. Although anyway, so you put them in the pot. But then you just kill them, right? And then you take all the meat out and you butter poach the meat, which is delicious. And then I take the shells and I put them in a pan and I brown them. Yeah, and then I make like a bisque or a broth. So I make so then you have a stock. Yeah, so you make it from the lobster shells. That's where all the flavor is. And so you can take a $15 lobster and you can make lots of things. And so people that say, oh, food stamps are bad, it's like, fuck you. Everyone should have access to food. And if you're good at cooking food, then yay.
First, crustaceans used to be poor people's food anyway.
Right? Yeah, I mean, all of the oysters in the bay, in the mussels too. In New York, there were in that Hudson River. There were just tons and tons and tons of oysters, and and they used to build shells. They had shell mounds, and like that was how you could identify different tribes or something. They had these mounds of shells,
and then like with the mussels here, you just go out to Rodeo Beach and just go to a rock
and just eat them. That's crazy.
Yeah, pick them off and eat them.
But now you can't. Well, you can, but you watch them. But wouldn't they? I mean, people
still do it. My homie still does it.
I've heard of people getting crab out of the bay as well, but I think I don't think I'd want to eat a bay crab.
I would,
because they. What do they eat? I mean, all of our.
Oh yeah. God damn it.
I'm sorry. Well, I don't even know. Like, I eat fish all the time.
Well, I'm afraid to eat anything nowadays. Yeah, I mean, seafood we're all going to die.
And everybody's on Instagram. And that's the thing.
With their lobsters.
So Jonathan, he's been really nervous about our upcoming trip, because he's like, what if World War III breaks out and we're in Europe? And I'm like, it's kind of a good place to be, I think. Wouldn't Greece be a nice place to be if the World War III breaks out? I mean,
I wouldn't want to be here in the States. Well, I'll be here though.
I mean, then I started thinking about it. I'm like, geez, what happens if you're out of the country and something like that happens?
I feel like we will have more of a civil war closer to a world war.
You really?
Yeah.
But like
the reason why I say that, because if anyone has watched with the G20 summit that happened last week, everyone like there was Canada, the UK. Germany, those are our biggest allies, in France. When you put all those together, they're kind of a superpower in contrast to us, where we're just our own superpower. But now we're buffoons because of the clown. And then also too, China could be, well, China is trying to be a superpower, but they have a lot of nuclear arms in Russia. So
all of it is super scary, and I don't trust our government at all right now. None of the cabinet members know anything.
I've never trusted them.
And I even just recently learned that I didn't even, like when it was happening, I was like, oh, and now I went, oh. So 2 days after 45 was got elected, he fired the transition leader team guy.
Yeah.
Chris Christie. And at the time, I was like, I didn't think that was a big deal. But now I'm like, wait a minute. That was the person that was dealing with all of the cabinet seats. And they had to scramble to figure out who they were going to choose. And people, and it's unprecedented how many
they haven't had anyone this whole administration.
To deal with the transition.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they lost the leader, but all of those choices. So there are more people in charge of our country right now who've never been in politics, who've never, ever had any experience at all in this kind of realm, and yet...
Or they're a warmonger.
And the problem is that it's this fake it till you make it mentality that now exists in the highest office, in the White House, the thing that rules our policies and makes choices for the future, and all of this stuff is being run by fake it till you make iters. And there's nothing more horrific to me than championing mediocrity, and that's all we've done.
That is
say, yeah, it's good enough.
This is where we get into the part of like everyone gets a gold star.
Everyone gets a gold star, and everyone's
a winner. You're not a winner. You're a loser, and no, you suck at this, just like you suck at this job. Yeah. No, you should not be in the. Oh, no, you should not have any kind of power or work in the government. See, mediocrity has been going on for a very long time. But talking about even in our lifetime, I noticed mediocrity in the government after the Clinton era. And that's because obviously that's when I started paying into politics a little bit more.
Sure.
Where all the smart people, even, I hate Reagan, I hate him with the passion, but he had smart people. Well, they used code words. they were at least smart in that way.
We choose to not elect people with the experience.
The George W. era is where I'm like, oh, there are some dumb people. He was dumb. I will say Dick Cheney was smart and evil, but he was slippery. But everyone else, Congolingus Rice.
You know, the thing with George W. is that he really, really believes in Jesus. No, he really does. He's like a real born again, hold hands, Jesus talks to me kind of, and he's like
a child.
But I think that everybody liked him because I would want to have a beer with that guy. He's like a fun guy. I mean, he doesn't drink anymore, but he just was a affable, likable kind of loser guy. Like, you know, he comes from this big, important family, and he's like, I'm just a guy.
And that was given to him. That whole...
Right, all
of it was given to him.
And that's America. That's why I'm a Marxist, because I don't believe in families. I don't... so many people are where they are strictly because their family has money. And they are supported, and it's just passing down your money from generation to generation.
I mean,
whereas, and that in itself is like, that basically says like, our family unit's more important than any other family unit. Instead of being like, hey, everyone's important. I'm just sick of seeing, there's a guy who sleeps on my street, and I walked by him the other day, and his shirt was kind of up, and his body was so dirty. He was so dirty. And I'm paying, and I'm getting a deal at my place, but people are paying upwards of $3,500 for studios right there. And what the fuck are we doing? Like, and I can't, I can't invite, I'm not going to invite him in and give him a shower. That's not, like, I can't, but why
can't throw water on him either?
I know, but why can't we have universal basic income? Why can't we, have you heard about the Yang guy?
Andrew Yang, yeah, I know what he's about.
Universal basic income, everyone gets $1,000. That would change. Like, that's the thing. $177 for food stamps is going to change my fucking life. It's going to change my life. I haven't been eating that much, and I've been eating shitty things because I've just been getting what I can. So Jonathan brings snacks home from work. I've been eating a lot of snack food, and I've been eating a lot of food from where I work. And I really like more vegetables and stuff, and I like fruit, and there's all these things that I haven't had access to because my food stamps got cut, and so I had to find more creative ways to feed myself. And I'm lucky that I have services, but why, if everyone got $1,000 a month, just cut, that would change my fucking life. That would change everything.
First of all,
about everything.
That $1,000 will help the economy and drive the economy even more. Yeah. I mean, everyone says we have a great economy now. No, actually we don't. And everyone talks about unemployment. Well, people are working 2-3 jobs in order to eat and to pay the roof over their heads. So no, things aren't great. That extra $1,000 though, a lot of people will probably spend it in a day, but the majority of people...
How would you do that? I can't imagine spending $1,000 in a day.
I know some trifling folks.
I can't imagine. What would I buy? I mean...
I can spend $1,000 in a day.
Really?
Living here in San Francisco, it's very easy.
Really?
It's very easy.
I mean, it would just be hard for me because I live in such a frugal mentality now. I would have a really difficult time spending $1,000.
I can spend $1,000 in a day. I refuse to, but I know how. But even with that $1,000 a day, a lot of people, the majority of people would put that away, invest in it, or spend money. I mean, all of it is positive.
Your kids to school.
Even if you spend it $1,000 a day, if you have that extra $1,000, that still drives up the economy.
Right.
And even with those people who are smart and frugal, who put that money away and invest in things, that's still great for the economy. So there's a win-win situation, for the economy. But instead, we rather keep people at this low level, like where states still have like $5.15 as their as their hourly wage, the minimum wage.
Yeah. Because we're not valuing labor. Because we're like, your work isn't good enough. Your work isn't smart enough. Or however it is. I don't understand. Because
I don't understand it either.
I'm a really intelligent person.
There's still people in our industry that make $2.15.
That's insane.
Plus tips.
That's crazy.
I used to make that in 1997. But there's still places.
I did that in, let's see what year. I was babysitting. I was making $2.85 an hour when I was 13.
1980.
44 to
89.
89. Yeah. 88, 89.
Yeah.
$2.85 an hour, and I thought, I was like, I'm rich.
Teenagers won't even take a job less than $10 an hour because they know that the federal, like, I'm not being valued.
Well, the thing is that, I mean, I could work my job, but that's the thing. If I want to be an artist, and so I want to live. I mean, I need time I still lament that I don't have enough time for my artistic endeavors. And I wish I had more, but if I made more money right now, I could work my ass off and I could make more money, but then I'd have to pay for, then I wouldn't have medical insurance because I wouldn't be able to. It's like, if I'm just so lucky I never had kids because I don't know how I would feel. I mean, I would just not be an artist, I guess. which is a choice too. I guess
the art is your baby.
I guess the art is the baby, which is why I get so upset all the time, because I'm like, the baby isn't good enough. The baby isn't good enough.
The dango ate my baby.
Yeah, fuck me, man. This place is, I don't know what I'm doing with my life. I really enjoy cooking though. But I don't want to do it full time. Would be so taxing. Like, I just wouldn't be able to do anything else, because I'd be working, if I worked my hours, if I worked like the night hours like that, I mean,
every day.
I mean,
5 days. 4 or 5 days.
I could never do comedy. I could never perform, because that would be a night job. And like, even working, one day a week, I lament that, oh, I can't do open mics anymore. I can't do certain shows or showcases. Or
that is what kind of happened to me.
Yeah, no, I know. And Mutiny Radio is going to be playing again soon. We're, in the standings of comedy baseball at Piano Fight. Go to Piano Fight every Thursday and watch comedy baseball.
And then donate to Mutiny.
And then press the button and donate to Mutiny. But we're not that bad. We're in the middle of the pack. We're tied with Sylvan. We're tied for third place with like 4 teams. Sweet. There's first place, second place. We're tied for third with like 4 teams, and then there's 2 teams beneath us. So we're right. I'm fucking happy, so happy that we're not sucking. We're in the middle. We might even make the playoffs.
I like that.
I think that's when, I don't know. But I'm gone the whole month of August. So.
Oh shit. Okay. So let me know the date.
But there's gonna be all during August, because of the fellowship. There'll be people here. Each week you'll have a different guest.
Yeah.
The first week will be Jesse Mundy. The second week I don't have a person yet. The third week is Amanda Golub out of New Orleans, and the
fourth week I won't be here.
Oh, okay, you won't be here. Well, it'll be Belinda Carroll. It's gonna be super queer
by herself.
Yeah, but so I'm just leaving. That's what I just sort of like. I so upset with America and the way things are going, and the general populace of who we are and what we're becoming. And I feel like maybe I'd just rather be like on some island somewhere and doing subsistence farming and trying to just survive, or this fake it till you make it Instagram, Facebook thing where nothing's real unless I post it.
Or this is the lifestyle I live, knowing your ass is broke as fuck. See, that's why I don't believe it. It goes back to what my grandparents told me: never believe what you see on TV. Oh. It's the same thing to me.
And they have scripts.
Yeah, it's the same thing to me on social media. Like, I don't believe what I'm seeing all the time.
But everyone else believes it. And
because they suckers and they don't have critical thinking skills. Yeah. No, seriously, like you.
I care about the wrong people. That's right.
Yeah, I'm looking at the positive things about social media, where you have people like AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, that post things, and she's the one that got people back on talking about the migrant children. That's
they're still in cages.
Yeah,
shit, man.
And then posting pictures. So that is
people seeking asylum, and then we're putting them in cages. We suck. The U.S. us. Us sucks.
You have people that are protesting outside these detention centers for them to stay.
Oh no!
Yeah,
I was like, what?
No, you have both.
I thought
both.
They were protesting to be let them go.
But there's also people that are like, hey, brown people, you get what you deserve, or they don't need it. And most of them, I'm sure, are Christian.
My dad sent me a terrible email. Let's read it this week. Terrible email from Dad this week.
I want to meet your dad hard.
He's a great guy. He has a great sense of humor. And I know he's only sending these to me because
he's trying to ruffle your feathers.
Yeah, he thinks it's funny. He thinks it's funny to send Republican things to the communists. And I'm not a communist. I'm a Marxist. So crazy.
I want to meet her dad because I love meeting racist people. I really do.
This is great. It's actually a really cool video, and it's really touching. And it's a World War II video of these guys pushing basically a gunner in the back who was shot up, and they couldn't even remove his body because he was so shot up. And then they pushed it burial at sea. And so I watched it. I'm interested in World War II footage, but this is what it says this is what it says when it's sent to me. This is a very touching video. Actually, a piece of film that has been made into a video. This is one that is not photoshopped. It is a real scene. Notice the opening shot. You'll see the gunner's position is all shot to hell while the pilot's cockpit ahead is undamaged. Later on, notice the corpsman taking a fingerprint of a deceased gunner before the film continues, then showing a chaplain saying the final prayer, followed by taps. Then the sailors push the aircraft and our patriotic airmen over the side and watch it sink into the distant sea. Here's one for a serious conversation with your kids. This was real. This is what 18-year-old kids were doing in 1944. No safe spaces, no hurtful, unthinkable remarks they couldn't cope with, just dying for their country so the ungrateful, ununiformed snowflakes of today could act like fools decades later. This 2-minute video is pretty moving, worth your while. What actually made this country great is extraordinary guys like this doing extraordinary things.
Okay, I'm not mad at that.
I'm not mad, but the reason I saved this one was, this is what our 18-year-old kids were doing in 1944. No safe spaces, no hurtful, unthinkable remarks they couldn't cope with, just dying for their countries. The ungrateful, uninformed snowflakes of today could act like fools decades ago.
I actually agree with that.
Yeah, I did too. I wanted to post it on the thing, but
you should post it.
And be like, look at this. Just because it's that fake it till you make it generation that we're dealing with. That's faking it. And making it. That's the thing. I feel like everyone's making it.
Can I ask you a question? Yeah. Your dad was in 18 in 1940.
No, my dad was born in 1944. So his father was actually my grandfather. My Grandpa Benjamin was in World
he was
War
a
II.
Kennedy. He was 18 during Kennedy.
Yeah, he's a straight up baby boomer. He was born like.
So he faked it till he make it. Okay, cool.
Oh no,
no, I'm kidding.
He worked. My dad's a good guy. He just
he just needs to meet a black woman.
Well, I
tell him something.
I was taught to be afraid of black people. Like when I was little. In fact, this is a terrible story, but I'll divulge it.
I like terrible stories.
There was a man named Charlie who was African American gentleman, and he played piano at our church. And I took piano lessons from him for a while, and I was so terrified of him that I would cry sometimes, and I'd be so nervous. And I don't know what I was afraid of, because he was a nice man. The 9 o'clock
news?
I don't know if that was it. I don't know if it was my parents or if it was
the crack
society
epidemic? I think it's society.
I was 10 years old, so this is 1984. Mm-hmm. And he was the piano player at our church, and I took lessons from him for a minute. But I couldn't take them. I was terrified of him. And so I don't know why. And
that's skiing.
I know what it is. I don't know what it was.
This is Scary Black Man. Scary Black Man syndrome.
Where did that come from? And
let's see.
Was it that and that's the thing, and then I start spelunking and I'm like, was I raised racist? Well, my dad said.
Oh, I know exactly what it was.
My dad said spick a lot. That was his term of choice. He didn't like Hispanic people. I don't get it, because I'm like, I love Mexico. I love Mexicans. I love people I have friends from Peru, like Chile. Like,
what's your best friend? Don't say it.
Jonathan's Chilean, but
I did not know that.
Well, his father was born in Chile, yeah, but he's of Swedish descent because his people were missionaries or whatever. Yeah, they were proselytizing to the natives. But I guess I was just, and that's the thing, was my family specifically racist?
I know. I can tell you exactly what this is. Society. This is society, and this is when I say the 9 o'clock news. What is the one thing that you always hear for the first 15, 20 minutes before the weather and the sports? Scary black man, or someone black is murdering or something, because it's programmed. And it's ingrained into black society as well, where we're afraid of our own. But yeah, scary black man syndrome, scary black person syndrome is something that is...
Why don't we talk about that more as a people, though? Why don't we start, like...
The dialogue is starting to slowly...
T-shirts. Like, there's got to be a T-shirt that says, like, this man is not scary, or that where is, like, the PR campaign?
It's slowly coming. Well, this is the positive part of like social media, where these topics are starting to be talked about and heard, just like footage of how everyday Black life is, where people did not believe us before, but now we got the footage of like, we've been trying to tell y'all. And that's something that, even talking about the media, of how, that scary Black man image is why we are here to this very day, still to this very day, with police shootings, inequality, how others think of us. And it's not just white people. There are other people of color that feel that same way toward Black people. Black people are the most degraded and demonized people in the world.
The two stereotypes.
I'm sorry.
The two stereotypes are scary Black man and angry Black woman.
And I'm angry, so what?
And you have every right to.
But I'm polite.
You have every. I mean, but that's the thing is. But why have we? How have we forwarded?
It's always been. It's always been there. I can speak from the American experience.
Remember the Mammy? That used to be one.
Oh yeah,
that used to be the.
Yeah, well, Mammy was like, as long as she's docile.
Right.
When you get the docile Negro, oh, they just good. That's why I don't like coons.
That's when you give them to raise your children.
Exactly. Or you get people like Ben Carson, docile Negro. Oh, I'll just take this job. Or Clarence Thomas, docile Negro. Coons.
So is that what we need, because to break the stereotype?
No, that's not what
of scary Black man.
No.
But is that why we can only accept docile?
Yes.
Black man.
Yes.
Because
they don't, because being docile is not, it's bowing down and not fighting for what you want to be equal. And the fact is, white people in this country, I'm just speaking for this, well, fuck that, around the world, they're afraid of us. They are afraid because we are warriors, and we conquer our own as individuals.
Because you're forced into it, but it's because you're forced into fighting all the time. Because you've been kidnapped.
I mean, you have countries in this very day that are trying to take resources from Africa, because Africa is not colonized anymore, though it sort of is. But China and France are actually trying to colonize certain countries in their own way, economically.
Sure.
But again, that shows how like
China's doing all kinds of little. They're setting themselves up globally
we're having a rape of the culture all over again, and even here in America, where we are still fighting the same goddamn fight.
We bring it back and said we didn't respect their culture, their language.
No, we were savages. We're savages.
The white people who had the money and said, they said that way of life,
childlike,
is right, which is totally ridiculous. But
Darwin.
It's saying that their life, that Americanization or whiteness or westernization is somehow more valid of a lifestyle than the lifestyle that has been lived.
And we're the ones that taught y'all.
Yeah, right.
We're the ones that started the society and civilization. And that is something that has been so whitewashed for so long.
It's community versus aristocracy. I think that the Western way is we put someone in charge and then we give them everything and but a chief is in charge, but they're still a member of the community. Like, it's the same thing we did when the white people, when we came to the United States, we said, this Native American lifestyle is worthless.
Yeah, they're savages.
Yeah, let's get rid of
those are the second.
Devaluing, saying that the way that they live their life is not good enough.
Exactly.
Or it's not right. Or it's wrong.
Going back to the missionary thing, that's another thing. Right. That's what missionaries do.
Your way of life is not good. So your religion, the way that you're practicing, that's so terrible. If someone's actually practicing a religion and you come and go, yeah, fuck your religion, this is the one.
Here's some Christianity.
Yeah, you should actually do this. It's so entitled. It's saying that my lifestyle is good, your lifestyle is not good enough.
Yeah. And those missionaries are the ones that usually be raping and giving people disease and all that shit. And
I mean, all of our America's upbringing, but it's because it's in the pursuit of money in singular hands, as opposed to caring about. That's why the abolishing the family is one of the things that Marx says, is that you shouldn't be able to pass money from generation to generation. It's for everybody. It's that we're all equal, and that all of our labor is equal, and that we need everyone, and we need everyone's labor. I mean, he proposed having armies, which I agree, but not to fight, to farm, like armies of agriculture.
See, this is why I'm not a Marxist.
Because
I want my money passed on, but I would rather have a higher tax, so that way I'm getting taxed enough to spread. And then I get to keep my estate and my legacy.
I'm all for, hey, I'm super fond of taxes. I say tax everybody 50%, and then we can give everybody everything.
Yeah.
I'm just, back to the guy with the dirty body. There's gotta be a way.
Sorry.
Seriously, he was dirty. And I felt terrible. And I actually thought, like, God, but I'm not gonna invite this guy into my house. I can't do that. But there should be public facilities for showers. There should be public restrooms. There should be public water fountains. There should be public trash cans. Should be. Let
me just say something. As someone that lived landlocked, there's an ocean and a bay. I would just dip my body into that.
That's fair.
I mean,
but he can't even get. He's so dirty now. He can't even get on the bus. Like,
you better walk.
I mean, walk all the way out to the ocecean. But I guess that.
And the bay is right there.
The bay is right there.
To the Embarcadero right there.
And
so ain't no excuse for that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I can't. As someone that lived landlocked, I would be with you. But on this one, I'm like, no, take your ass. You better baptize yourself in that bay.
I know, it's better than
being funky and dusty.
I mean,
he chose to be dusty.
Well, and that's the thing.
But that's mental illness.
If people are truly choosing, and that, mental illness. Why aren't we? Because we're too busy staring at our phones to do anything. But what can I do? I mean,
but more mental illness is now being created by what you just said earlier with like social media and this idea of being of perfection that is not real, that people put on, and it's all a lie. It's a fraud. It's not real.
America's so weird because we have diseases that are born from our excess, like hoarding.
Water.
Oh yeah, go crazy. There's cups in the thing, and
oh no, I'm gonna grab some across the street.
Oh wow, fancy.
Actually, I'm lying. I'm grabbing a cider.
Oh, good for you.
You share with me?
I'm not a big cider fan.
Okay, then I'll just grab a beer.
I'll share a beer though. Yeah, I work tonight at 5, but I get to. I mean, it's a bar, so I get to.
I work in a couple hours too.
Okay.
I'm grabbing lunch.
Yeah.
I'm celebrating the 4th. Sorry.
Yeah. Hey, it's 4th of July here. We're supposed to be celebrating America, and what better way?
Actually, get into that, and I'm gonna rush back.
Oh, I'll read them. I'll read them some of my Marxist poems. I've been writing. I've been writing poetry again because comedy is completely and utterly unfulfilling. And it honestly is. Here, listen to some Cope while I get my stuff. That's Kobe, the Japanese Bjork in the fills that you can't hear on that stuff. This is my device. I do need to find out what's going on in the world because I have no idea what's happening. And do I care? Oh wow! Look at that. Hello, goodbye.